Hi, this is Daniel Posney, and you're watching or listening to Shifting Perspectives. And today's topic, we're going to talk about what is happening in Sedona, what happens in Sedona. so, uh, I have a certain perspective, of course, because the work that I do, I'm immersed in this work of life transformation and healing. So I work for several different retreat companies, and I have my own office here in Sedona that I practice from. So my perspective, it looks like all there is happening here is healing and life transformation, but that's not necessarily true. So from what I understand from the revenue sources of Sedona, only about 35% of their revenue comes from spiritual retreats and healers and practitioners and that kind of thing in that bubble. The rest of it, a lot of it comes from ATV rentals, mountain bike riding, hiking, and excursions and tour, like land tours kind of thing. So they generate a lot of revenue from Jeep tours and ATV rentals and that kind of thing, which is kind of wild when you think about it, that such a pristine land gets so much driving on top of it. But we're hoping to change that. But what I'm focused on is the work that we do with people that are coming here for some kind of a, not necessarily a spiritual experience as much more as life transformation work. I'm really stuck. I don't know where to go in my relationship or my job. I don't know what my purpose is. I'm at the end of this whole thing. I don't know how to go forward, kind of thing. And that's actually what's the majority of I see what's happening with the sessions and retreats that I do, and with the retreat companies that I work with. There's from what I see, there's a small percentage that people are just looking for some kind of a chakra balancing or awakening kind of energy thing. Most people that I see, or at least the ones that I attract, are the ones that are looking for to take their life and their practice, if they're a practitioner, or their psychology or psychiatry practice to a higher level, or they want to take their business or their life to a place that they feel like there's something is keep them stuck from where they need to go. So my kind of motto is I help people get to where they want to go from where they are. And so in working with these different retreat companies, they all have certain aspects and kind of feelings about them. There's three major retreat companies that I know about. There's Sedona Soul Adventures, Spirit Quest, and Gateway Cottage. And then there's some other ones underneath those, or a little bit smaller than those. And then there's Angel Valley, is another great place. But you're not going to find one retreat company that has all the best practitioners in town. The best practitioners have their own thing going on, and they have their own practice where people come directly to them. And they also supplement their income by working as a subcontractor with these other companies. But some of them work for multiple companies like I do, and some people that I know. So they don't really have the exclusivity on the practitioners. But if they are working for a company, the one thing that you will know is that they're the top of their game. They're the ones that are really doing something, because you can't really get subcontracted into a company if you don't really have something going on. If it's just something nice spiritual little energy thing that a million other people are doing, it's hard to keep at least being called back to sessions. You may get in there for a little bit and get on the list, but you're going to be on the B list. And unless you have something that really well-rounded, balanced, more encompassing more aspects of healing, then you'll get called back. So those are the kind of people that are going to be working for retreat companies. As far as the people and the population that I know about here, they're, the media likes to kind of, likes to dramatize things excuse me, that they don't understand. It makes for a good story, and there's this crazy thing going on in Sedona and that kind of thing. That's just to get your attention. It's just to kind of get you into the drama of the story. But what's actually happening here is there's very few people that I've ever seen or heard of, or that are still here, that have made their way here and stayed here, that are what you might call a charlatan or a bullshitter, or they're not really providing something in integrity. Those kind of people don't really last too long. They may kind of fool some people sometime, but after a while, even these great spiritual teachers that have a huge following, they'll come here and they'll just get tracked out, and everything's just very transparent here. So those people don't last long. So Sedona is not really a great place for like a guru or something to stay here, because unless it's just not that kind of a place where people come here to go see and spend time with one particular guru. It's a place of people kind of putting their hands in all the different places and enjoying all the different modalities and practitioners, which are all based out of scientific research and energy medicine and old and ancient teachings and things that are really grounded in positive results and that kind of thing. So because of that, there's lots of healing for cancer and different life-threatening illnesses here, all different kinds of modalities. And it can be a little overwhelming because there's so much here. But again, there's not too many people that I know of or I've heard of that aren't in integrity with what they do. There's a couple that I know that aren't totally in integrity, and they put on a persona of this master energy. Just beware of that. Just use your own integrity, your own intuition, and your own feeling about that, and ask some questions. Like some questions you might ask is, what makes you qualified to do this work? And what experience have you had with my particular specific experience? It's not necessarily if they start talking about a certification or that they learned from this particular teacher, that kind of thing, that really doesn't have a lot of emphasis here. It's about what practical experience and success have you had, and how immersed are you in this practice. And if you work for a company, that's a great little indicator that you've got something. And then if you have your own practice, all those are just kind of little signals that you can use to track down a really good practitioner, a healing practitioner. So I would, again, just really specifically look for specifically what you're looking for, the emotional trauma that you've gone through, or what you're trying to work through. And you may find some people that say, oh yeah, I work with all of it. But if you could find someone that has worked with that specific thing, through the law of attraction, you're going to attract that person into your field. So there's just so much wisdom and knowledge and great people. Some of the best people that I've ever met are here, and some of the most grounded people are here. So it's not what the media portrays, that everybody's up in the clouds. It's actually, people know their shit, and they're offering their services. Could you imagine that if this place was full of charlatans and people that were just taking people for their money, what kind of a place this would be? There would be arrests and conspiracies and crazy stories in the media about what's going on here in Sedona, but it's not like that. So some of the most, famous celebrities and people and wealthy people and CEOs, and I've myself worked with different psychiatrists and psychologists and psychotherapists and millionaires and billionaires, because this is the place to come to. And what I offer is something that's grounded in my own research and my own direct experience and my own intuitive abilities. So all that there's just a lot of that going on. As far as the community here, we don't really have a central place anymore that we can all hang out. It used to be this coffee shop that was, I think it was called the Raven. And then it became, it was when New Frontiers was here, and then New Frontiers was bought out by Whole Foods, at least that store was. And then with COVID, they shut down the coffee shop. So that was our hub to hang out in. So now we just see each other at different events, coffee shop, the store, and we love on each other and hug each other. And then we may not see each other for months or even a year or something. And as for such a small town, it's funny how, or interesting how we don't really see each other as much. But when we do, there's just great respect and love for each other. So, because we know, what we're doing out there in the world, the time that we don't see each other, we know that we're out there serving humanity and doing the work that we do. It's an amazing place to be, in a place that you are surrounded by people that honestly and sincerely will give their services and their legitimate healing abilities to you. So there's all kinds of Reiki and massage and theta healing and meditation and all things to raise consciousness and our healing vibration, and all sorts of tools. And just, if you're experiencing illness here, there's just so much support here. And to be a resident here, a practitioner here, I'm just surrounded by amazing people that would just give, if I asked for it, they would just give it. And it's an amazing place to be. And it's legitimate healing abilities that they want to offer, and support also that helps me heal directly the source of the problem, not just telling me what I want to hear. Sometimes they'll actually tell me what I need to hear. And that is some of the most amazing healing that you can get. Let's see, some of the names I want to throw out there. I'm going to miss a lot of people, but just the ones that come to my head, there are people like Anahata that really helped me get my start here. She's just another one of those people that over 20 something years ago, she was working for a corporation as like an executive, blah, blah, blah. And then she came to Sedona, and now she has a very thriving practice with group retreats and her own shamanic healing. My wife, Valerie, who does amazing, masterful sound healing and womb healing with women. And she used to work for an insurance company in town. She's been here for over 20 years. Amalia Camateros, she's an amazing shaman, healer, guide, mystic, counselor, coach, and she was a naturopathic doctor in Australia. So different people come here and they have totally different career paths, but before they had that career path, like me, I was a technician. And at some point I went into my head and I made money that way. And that seemed like the way for me because I was intelligent that way. But I kind of reconnected with my child self, the ability to feel and to intuit and to communicate on an energetic level and that kind of thing. So a lot of people, they may have been this particular field for a while, but now they've been allowed or have permission to kind of really explore who they're really meant to be. And that's the other thing that's going on in Sedona, is that Sedona just allows you, takes away all of your excuses of why you're not being who you need to be, kind of thing. So it just opens all that up. And that's not like a really comfortable place for a lot of people. But from what I've seen is that we're guiding you like we've been guided back to your soul in the most loving, direct way possible. And that just would blow your mind, just even think about that there's a place that has that energy or that purpose about it. So that's kind of what's happening here, and along with just doctors and lawyers and shipping clerks and cashiers and restaurants, and got some of the best food around. Got some great restaurateurs that have amazing restaurants. So there's all that going on too. But I'm looking from a certain perspective, so I just tend to focus on that. The retreat companies, again, they have subcontracted different practitioners. So just feel into your heart and your intuition about which company, or to go directly to the practitioner. You have a choice of searching out and researching a particular modality or practitioner, and read their reviews and their testimonials and find out about them and see what it sounds like people are getting from them. And then you can look at what their experience has been. Qualifications and certifications are they kind of have a lower priority for me. It's what direct experience and what it is that your method of teaching and healing is. You really can't go wrong if you use your intuition and your feeling towards it. even if you find someone that you have some quote bad experience with, or not something that you weren't looking for, the times that I've seen people that have had an experience with a practitioner that wasn't what they were looking for, um, a lot of times that person needs to look within themselves and find out why they connected with that person. Was that person the practitioner out of integrity, like they are out of integrity? Were they open to receive the message that that practitioner was willing to give them? All that stuff to look at too. So um, wow, I'm so excited for your journey. If this is going to be your first time here, or you're coming back for more deeper healing. If you want to know about a certain healing modality, or a certain specific healing, or specific emotional trauma or something, just send me an email at danielposney@gmail.com. And I'm not the person that wants to take all the sessions to myself. I don't want to keep myself that busy. And my rates are kind of high, so I'm not for everybody. So I would be more than happy to send you to the person that is more of a better fit for you for that specific thing. So there's certain things that I don't do. I don't dive into something that I'm not really excited and qualified to do. That being said, I can do a lot, but there's certain things that I'd rather give you to someone that's more of a match energetically and knowledge and wisdom wise for you. So what else can I say about Sedona? It's an amazing place full of crystals in the rocks and iron in the soil and amazing beauty and beautiful history. And day after day, there are hundreds of people receiving healing, legitimate healing from cancer, from emotional trauma, from sexual trauma, from childhood trauma, getting clear direction in their life. And some of that modality, some of that teaching, some of that wisdom and that guidance is kind of wild. It's kind of out there. It's kind of what something where we haven't been taught. And yet it's not new. And yet it's something that comes from our ancestral line, from ancient teachings, or from leading edge technology. And so a lot of that stuff is just, it's stuff you're not going to find in the textbook, but that doesn't mean that it's not working. And it doesn't mean that it's not legitimate, science-based, results-based methodologies. So I think that's all I have to say about Sedona, and just have your own experience. And again, if you have any questions for me, just shoot me an email. I'd be more than happy to answer. And I wish you the best. I love you. Thank you, and bless you.